Welcome back. Matt Lee joins us here to talk about some real estate issues and good tips here with anyone that has a house this time of year. But if you are putting your house on the market, maybe some spring cleaning tips. Good to see you, my friend. How are you?
I'm great.
So yeah, this is a time of year that a lot of people could benefit from spring cleaning tips.
Maintenance stuff, making sure that your equipment lasts a lot longer than if you were to just leave it, and learning by experience.
Well, do you want to tell the funny story?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this weekend we were building a garden in our house, in the backyard, and our little guy who's 2 was helping, and he had his little shovel.
Yeah.
And we turned around, and he was making a pile.
Good for him. Yeah.
Of dirt in the central air unit.
That's not good.
So now I've learned how to actually clean a central air unit. I called the guy thinking that he was going to come over and take the outer part off and clean it. And he said, well, if there's not a lot of dirt, then basically you can actually just take a garden hose and spray it down in through the fan, because there's actually holes in the bottom that will allow it to go out. If the holes get clogged and you start to see it build up, then I'll come and I'll take it apart.
Now, because chances are, in the spring when pollen is flying around, it's going to get in there anyway.
Yeah.
Little bits of things like that.
It's actually on
a windy day with some twigs, some leaves maybe.
Yeah, so you can actually clean it out, and that's a good maintenance thing to start with. And he actually said the outer black screen, you'll want to clean that as well, because if it's built up with pollen and grass, because you're cutting the grass around your central air unit all the time, if it builds up, then it works harder. That's actually part of the system. So if you clean that out with a hose, then it'll actually work more efficiently, and it'll actually bring your utility cost down.
Well, you sent us some pictures. Let's talk us through some of the pictures here.
So this is your central air unit, and the fan is on the top, and you've got this outer black screen, and this is the part where you want to actually take it and clean it. Take either a light pressure washer or just a regular garden hose and spray it down. I always talk about in the spring having your ducts cleaned. We always want to replace the furnace filter as well, because a lot of people have central air nowadays. So you're going to be using that furnace throughout the summer as well. To keep that going properly, you want to change that filter. Once a month is a good idea. Cleaning the ducts, you want to make sure that all that grit and grind, you're going to get a bit of rock off the shingles that go down and actually build up in your eaves trough over the winter, because ice and snow are pushing it down. Sealing the driveway, this is something that is going to save you a lot of money. I mean, a driveway of this size is probably going to cost somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000. You do get cracks. We do have hard weather. You want to make sure that you seal the cracks and seal the whole driveway. Interlocking brick driveway. I actually have one of these driveways. So I actually looked into it. My brother was he went through for horticulture. You want to use something called a polymeric sand, and what it is you basically put it on when it's dry, and then it fills in all the cracks, and then you wet it down. And when it wets down, it's almost like concrete, and it seals up really tight. So
and there's no chance of that sand coming loose or anything?
Well, less chance.
Okay.
So basically, it's one of these things that with our climate, you're gonna have to do this every couple of years. So probably the best thing to do would be to pressure wash your driveway, get any loose dirt and any grit out, clean it out, let it dry, and then basically dump the polymeric sand in a pile and broom it around. So it fills in all the holes, because that'll stop any weeds coming up through. It'll actually prevent water from getting down below, so that the driveway doesn't move as much.
Right.
And then you clean that all up, and you actually seal it, and then just take a garden hose and lightly spray it down. And once it's dry again, then you can just clean off the top.
After a winter full of shoveling the driveway, if you have a brick driveway, is there any damage to the bricks? Do they move at all?
So I would say that don't use a plow to clean the driveway.
shovel.
You just use the shovel, because a person can't actually use the force to pull one of those stones out. But just use a shovel or a snow blower would be best. So if something happens, call landscaper, have them come in and fix it, because if you can get to it while it's just a small issue, you can probably save it, no problem.
Now, how often does a driveway need to be sealed?
I would seal it every 2 years.
Every 2 years?
Yeah, I
Okay.
would say so, because again, we go through this climate thing, and you get these cracks that go up the driveway or wherever. There's water pouring in there, and what happens is like the water that's pouring in there in, say, the fall, all of a sudden freezes. So then all of a sudden you get this hole in your driveway, because
That's how potholes are formed, yeah.
Well, they've just popped. Yeah, so that it turns to ice, pops that driveway. Ice is stronger than most things, so basically it's going to cause damage. I would seal it up with tar, and then you actually take a sealant and basically roll it on like paint up and down the driveway, or have somebody do it. But highly recommended to save your driveway.
Always great advice. Thank you,
no
Matt Lee.
problem.
Okay.
Real estate tips brought to you by Matt Lee of Royal LePage.